out there. Ross, welcome to the show. We have attorney extraordinaire Benton Ross Watson with us today. And how
Too
you
cool
doing,
for
Ross?
school, man. Too cool for school.
We're starting off a new year. We had an awesome year last year with the whole crew here. Everything's going great. We're going to start it again in 2018. And here's the topic that I wanted to go over. I hear some people saying, oh, you know, these catchphrases like, if you shoot somebody, just drag them into the house. You know, cover yourself that way. So we've got a few of these types of scenarios here, and I wanted to talk about it because a lot of people, and some of the people who tell me who tells them this, and it scares me because some of those people are in positions of authority. And so they may be kidding around, but some people who don't understand that they're kidding around may do something stupid. So I'll give you an idea.
Well, I got so yeah. Go ahead.
I'm going to read this. I'll read you a few that I wrote down, and then we'll have the discussion. And if anybody's out there has heard some stupid type of commentary that or advice somebody gave to you, give us a call and let us know at 254-697-6633. But I can't believe what I'm hearing. Wrong ideas that need to be addressed. Here's a few. Dead men tell no lies. Shoot to kill. Shoot to kill. No. Another one. Pull the body into the house after you shoot him. Or just wing them. Or how about this one? Modified guns and ammo can get you in legal trouble. Or I'm just going to shoot the gun to scare them. So let's talk about this and some other ones.
Well, I want to cover 1 and 3. I think I stress the fact that if you shoot your weapon at all, okay, you're pulling out a deadly weapon. It's going to be use of deadly force. So if you try to wing them, so to speak, or if you...
I have to stop you right now.
If you're going to try to wing them, you can't.
To stop you right
it's going to be deadly force anyway.
Because you made the comment, and I want to clarify this. You made the comment, if you pull the gun out, it's going to be used as deadly force.
Right.
Penal Code 904 specifically states the threat.
Well, no, not just pulling the weapon out. If you shoot, you're going to shoot
right.
to wing somebody.
But you see, that's why we're clarifying this, because somebody says
wing
a person in authority told me just to drag him into the house. So I don't want to make sure that us being an authority.
We're not to that one. We're not to that one. So if 1 and 3, if you're shooting to wing, right, you're going to be seen as shooting to kill anyway. You're going to be using deadly force. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. My commentary is if you got the time to aim it, you got the time to freaking run.
Well, I'm not going to tell somebody they got to run in their own house.
No,
if you're in your own house and you want to shoot somebody, I mean...
I concur. I'm talking like on the street or something.
Okay, and so, we've always said it's not a good idea when you don't have the presumption, okay? And so if you don't have that presumption, then yes, you need to think about other options. But that's always something you need to do. That's what we talk about. You need to be trained to use a firearm because you need to be aware of your surroundings, your circumstances. I'm gonna digress a second. You said about the parking lot, be aware of your surroundings. I was in college. I had probably way too much to drink with my buddy, and we're walking down the parking lot, and there's a car, and he backs up right in front, almost hits my buddy, hits the back of his car. He says, "Seriously, who backs up in a parking lot?" No, I don't know. That's just a great story for me. But I think you got to be aware of your surroundings. You know, if we wouldn't have too much to drink, we wouldn't have walked right into where he was backing up. Okay, so I think you always have to be aware of what you're doing and train what you're doing so you're confident, and therefore you don't get in a situation where you're just firing off your weapon into environments where there's really no threat. Okay, or in a situation where there was a lot more alternatives. As far as dead men tell no lies, I mean...
Wait, let's stop for a second. I gotta share a story. Since you brought it up, I gotta share a story. I know the law, and I know how to handle a weapon, okay? And I know how to handle it under different situations. Been doing it for years. I had a situation where somebody was majorly threatening me. Majorly. And I've got a weapon on me, and I'm thinking, oh, what am I gonna do here? And so what I did was nonviolent dispute resolution. I said, I know the last resort is I can pull that thing out. I know my limitations. I know what I can do. So I'm trying to talk it down. So you got to know how to handle your gun, like you just said. Got to know what your backdrop is, and because that was part of the reason why I had to not do something is because there's just too much collateral damage out there. So you must know what you're doing. You must know the law. You must know how to handle yourself under stress, so on and so forth. I have paused. Go ahead.
Well, no, but wing him. Okay, at that point, I mean, it's not Hollywood. I don't even understand this. Like you think, I mean, I know you're a professional. Okay, are you gonna but if you get in a situation where you have to use your weapon, are you gonna go, oh, I'm gonna shoot his leg right here.
Heck no, it's center mass.
Okay, I mean, there's no time for that. Okay, and if you're gonna shoot them anyway, it's gonna be deadly force. If you're gonna be justified, you're gonna be justified, regardless of whether they're just harmed or they're dead.
I fall back on this when I'm teaching the class. I say, look, the law is the law. And only you know when the line in the sand has been crossed when you think your life's in danger. Only you truly know. The thing you have to do is convey it to the jury who's going to judge you. So in reality, the law book goes out the freaking window. You know your law, you understand it, but when you add it all up, the line has been crossed no matter what. You make the decision to do it.
I know. Here, let me too. So if you, I'm gonna give some people some confidence here. Okay, if you pull your weapon out, okay, and you use it, just take a deep breath and follow through. And shoot to kill, because it's not going to make a difference. If you're going to be justified, you're going to be justified. Okay, if you're not, then you're not. It's going to be deadly force either way. So
that terminology can really hurt you. Saying shoot to kill, it's shoot to stop, shoot to eliminate.
I know, but evidentiary. I know, but we're always thinking that's true. You don't need to shoot to kill; you need to shoot to stop the threat. Okay, but at the same time, I'm thinking of it from the advocacy standpoint on the other side. The other side is going to be saying you shot to kill. Okay, and I'm saying if you're justified, it makes absolutely no difference.
When you say it like that, I concur with you. Yes.
And so it makes no difference if it was deadly force, right? And it was justified deadly force, and it's deadly force whether they live or they die.
I concur. The problem that you guys have me started wondering now is the black and white law turns to gray.
Oh, exactly. And so yes, I mean, you have that. You have the political standpoint of somebody's dead now. But honestly, it is what it is. If you're justified, you're justified.
Let's wrap this up. This one particular segment we're talking about, and that is this. Look, if you trained, the more you are prepared, the further away the line in the sand becomes. If you do not train and you do not prepare, the line is right there in front of you. Anything can happen, and you're going to freak out. So it's your responsibility to get the training and master your mind, master your body, master your tool, so that freaking line in the sand is far, far away. Okay?
Right. I'm just saying, if you're gonna use the weapon, okay, you're not gonna have time to think about, I'm gonna wing him. Okay, and you just need to do what you're trained to do, and not worry about it. Because if it's justified, it's justified.
Okay.
So don't let all these thoughts cloud your head and make you, not follow through with what you're trained to do. Does that make sense? What is wrong with that, man? I mean, that seems to me like the right answer.
I just want to make sure it's not a default.
It's not a default. I mean, it's like I'm telling you, the law says if it's justified. Well, I mean, you got another opinion?
No, my comment, it's not really an opinion. It's just based on. Here's the deal. If you have somebody who's untrained and inexperienced,
that's different.
They may make a foolish decision.
That's different, and that's what we said. You don't just go fire and use the weapon, right, when you're not supposed. That's a totally different scenario. That's what I'm saying. That we're not to that pull the body in the house situation. Right? That's a good segue into that. No, don't do that. It's stupid.
Then let's break down your answer step by step. What you're saying is, I'm trained, I'm mentally prepared, I'm physically trained, I know what I'm doing, and it came to the point when I had to do it.
Don't be worried about, I'm going to get charged. Versus, I need to protect myself.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The law book gets thrown out the window once the line has been crossed. But you must be wise to study and learn so that line gets further and further away. If somebody gets a license, look, they start doing it online now. They don't get an instructor who says, hey, look, I've been out there on the street. I know what I'm doing. I've got practical experience. And here you are reading it off the freaking computer, and you get your license, you carry a gun, you think you're badass. You're not. You're going to screw up. You're going to take somebody out accidentally, recklessly. You're going to put yourself in legal problems. You better know what you're doing. Go ahead.
So dragging the body in the house, that's, I guess I could see some circumstance, but I can't think of one really off the top of my head, even though I'm sure there's at least one exception that exists, but no, that's stupid, because you're going to have blood everywhere, and when you drag them, the blood is going to be on the ground, or there's going to be DNA evidence, and you're going to be guilty of tampering with evidence, which is oftentimes classified as the felony which it is you were trying to hide.
And I can see you
Okay.
dragging him in because you wanted to administer first aid, right?
There you go. It's like it's the brass knuckles paperweights. And so I mean, you know, I mean that's always I guess availability, but we talked about it. That goes into the training part of it, right? If they're not at the door or it's not doesn't look like theft or criminal mischief at nighttime, okay, or they're not in a place where you're gonna get these presumptions that you're able to use your weapon, okay, then that goes into you shouldn't use your weapon, and you should think about alternatives, nonviolent dispute resolution or running away, okay. But I mean, Texas doesn't like the fact they don't want to try to make you run away, but you know we've talked about the ambiguity. This is when you are getting into the gray area. Is there still a requirement to retreat when you're not, in your house, in your office, or in your vehicle?
I say common sense. You should do it to the best of your ability until such time you can.
And so the statutes really don't clearly make it a retreat requirement, okay? Unless you're doing something wrong, it says then you're not required to retreat. Obviously, it's saying you need to retreat. But if you're otherwise allowed to use deadly force, doesn't really have that retreat requirement. But I've told you, my treatises and all of the things that I use in my practice to give me a way to interpret the law, a way to give some substance to words that otherwise don't have any, right, are saying that they believe that in the future there will be a retreat requirement read into the self-defense law.
I'll tell you why I come at it the angle that I do. The scumbag who's trying to hurt me, his life's wrecked anyway. I'm trying to be an honorable citizen. I'm trying to be a good person. I'm trying to do what I do. Blah, 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 blah. And if I do something wrong because of a lack of training, that scumbag will majorly change my lifestyle. I will lose a lot of money paying you to protect me or defend me.
Yeah.
My lifestyle will be changed because of the
I'm sorry.
publicity of it all. So I put all these factors and I go, do I really need to do that? And I'm doing because I'm trained prior. All that happens in nanoseconds, those decisions. And I make the decision, do I do it or do I not do it? And when I have to do it, I will do it. But if you're not trained, that's why it's so important to get your training. That you can make better decisions because it's going to change your life when you take somebody's life. Now, if it's a scumbag in your house, I could care less. I'll sleep easy. Trust me. But if I'm on the street and there's any room for a potential question, should I have done that or should I not have done that? You may have some dreams about it. Go ahead.
Then the next one, modified guns and ammo, and I think we did a whole show on this before, and just
But
kind
we
of
always have new listeners come in.
No, I got you, but I think we could go on and on. And is there? And I told you, there's no way for me to tell you. Is that ever going to have any kind of effect? I mean, like we said, we gave a bunch of examples. I think there was a Nazi case. There was a group of Nazis, and they had all of this stuff, and they were preparing for war, right? And they had all of these hollow point. They had all of this military style equipment, okay? And the police raided without them knowing, and they didn't know anybody was coming in, the building, and they just start returning fire. And they really didn't know who it was, and there was great evidence to show that they didn't know the police were there, so they would have been justified, but the court did not give them a self-defense claim because it says you were preparing for war against the government. You brought war on yourself from the government. You knew that this was going to happen. You tried to make this happen, right? And it happened, and now that it occurred, what you brought on, we're not going to give you the benefit of having a self-defense claim. Now, whether that was the correct call or not, I don't know that I necessarily agree. And I agree that the guys need to go to jail, but do I agree that the court should have made that exception there? I'm not sure.
I don't agree.
I don't technically either. But
because it falls back to this: I can't shoot somebody until they actually make that move to hurt me. So yes, I totally get it. They were planning, but they didn't make the move.
But that was an extreme case. It was obvious. Like it was so
Preemptive strike, huh?
Yeah, it was so far fetched from what you can even imagine that they had prepared for that it doesn't it was not going to apply even to somebody who is a gun enthusiast. Okay?
Whenever I
And
make
so-
a decision, I always think to myself, will that decision ever be turned around back onto me? And so I always resort to my Constitution, my Bill of Rights, and all that kind of stuff. And I say, hey, you know, I'm not going to be a hypocrite here and promote this and all of a sudden turn it around because, yeah, it's obvious, but I'm not. It doesn't matter if it's obvious. The move's got to be made first.
And then we spoke about what kind of a lot of times the better weapons, the modified ammo, is more safe, right? Because it doesn't ricochet outside of you.
Overpenetrate,
You know
yeah.
more about the technicalities of the ammo, but
Well,
right,
so-
it doesn't go outside of your body.
I've heard comments like this. Oh, you're using a hollow point, a hydroshock. Oh, your intent is to really harm. No, my intent is to keep the bullet in that person, not to go through 2 or 3 other people because it's a full metal jacketed bullet and it's just going to go right through y'all. So
Okay.
I'm thinking, what can I do to minimize collateral damage and just take the threat that's trying to hurt me? So yeah, I mean, you look at it that way. That's how I look at it.
And I think I've talked about Trayvon Martin case, you know, in Florida. That got a lot of kind of things got brought out there that you know he was just itching to kill somebody. And yeah, I said there's always a chance the government can show intent, but from this standpoint, normally speaking, it's not going to be a problem. Okay, but yeah, I mean, I can't say never. I mean, it's just kind of one of those things. It's going to be a circumstance by circumstance.
Ross, I got to make a clarification here. You're very good at what you do. I'm very good at what I do. There's a lot of people out there who are not good at either one of what we do. However, they're going to carry a gun. And so that is why, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so anal and meticulous on the aspects of the law, concept ideas, mental alertness, mental training, physical abilities, running the gun. You must know these things. If you're going to go into the field of potential battle and you do not prepare, you're a fool. You're an idiot. You're stupid. You're naive. Get your act together. If you're going to get a license to carry a gun, get your act together and get your training done. And don't do it online. Find somebody. If it's not me, find somebody who knows what they're doing and they're not going to tell you battle stories. They're going to give you clean, no fluff training so that you are better on the street. I have paused. Go ahead.
Well, I do. I want to make clear again. I don't want to discourage anybody from doing any kind of modifications to their weapons or their ammo. I think that we don't have time to go into everything about why it's not more likely than not. There's never going to be any problems with that. I think that if you need to make a modification to your gun and ammo, that you need to do it, and there's never going to be an issue as long as you follow through in accordance with your training. And you follow through in accordance with the self-defense rules that we talk about on here. You're not gonna. It's not gonna be a problem.
I think the modifications of the guns would be like a silencer, or you're doing a full auto gun, or you're cutting off a barrel to make it short. It's those type of modifications. But if you add junk to it, that's a different story. But when it comes to the ammo, somebody might put cyanide in the hollow points and cover it with wax. Like in the movie Jaws, when he's trying to kill that shark. So things like that. That's kind of crazy.
Well, I mean, you're gonna be registered with the ATF. You're going to have to go through all of that, those checks. You're going to have to go through all that administrative
If they
process
do
to
it
get the
legally.
silencer.
If they do it legally.
Well, if you don't do it legally, obviously, that's going to be used against you.
Right.
Why do you have an illegal silencer on your weapon? That's, again, one of those things. I'm not going to say, there's never any problems with modifying your weapons, but if you're going through all those legal steps and it's legal, it just shows you're a responsible citizen.
Okay.
Shoot to scare is shooting to warn, isn't it? I'm just playing.
Yeah, okay, here I am in the city, and all of a sudden I shoot a shot up in the air. What goes up comes down. We were talking about that last week, weren't we, Chief? And
that could be deadly conduct, right? Shooting over a street. We talked about shooting over
hey,
a
Chief,
street.
what would the ordinance be? It would be like discharging a firearm in a city limit?
There's that, but there's also deadly conduct, what you talked about, because you don't know where the bullet's going to go. And you could have a case for deadly conduct.
Easily,
And
yeah.
that's a lot more serious than the Class C discharging a firearm inside city limits.
Right. And that would be the go-to charge. I mean, it would be a clear charge.
All right, so we say dead men tell no lies, shoot to kill. We don't want to shoot to kill. We want to shoot to stop. pull a body into the house for medical purposes only, right?
I can't get over that. Sir.
Hey, there's always a loophole.
Have plenty of Clorox.
Just wing them. In my opinion, if I've got time to wing them, I've got time to do something else. If I'm gonna
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point.
if I'm going to pull the gun, ladies and gentlemen, if I pull the gun and I say, "You are scaring me," those 4 words, I'm a mental thought process away from pulling the trigger. Don't make me say those words because you're scaring the crap out of me. You're threatening me. I'm in a position where I feel that's my only resolve. You do not want to hear those words come out of my mouth. Okay, so just wing him.
And that's what I was saying. I mean, how are you gonna? It's not Hollywood. I mean, you're not.
I'll tell you what.
I mean, I've had situations. You don't have time to think about that.
There's why must you verbally speak before you shoot? I just slaughtered that, but there's it basically says before you fire, you should verbalize before firing. It's because they may follow your final instructions.
They may.
I always bring this up. There's this one.
Works for police all the time. Sometimes it doesn't.
Jack
though.
Reacher. Is Jack Reacher? Is that the movie?
I think so, yeah.
Jack Reacher. He's going after this bad guy, and the bad guy's calm, cool, and collective under stress. But he sees Jack Reacher's about to kill him, and he answers the question finally. And the whole reason he answered it was he goes, "I knew and believed that time he was going to pull the trigger," because a lot of times somebody says, "Oh, you're bluffing," but there's something in your body mannerism, the look in your eyes, the tone in your voice that says you meet and reached the line, and I'm about to do something. So if you can convey that with your final words and say, "I'm telling you, stop, you're scaring me," they may just do it as compared to just shooting it. Because if you got videotapes, which are all over the place, they're going to analyze it, study it, and they're going to the prosecuting attorney is going to try and nail you to the cross. Trust me. I come from an attorney of families. A family of attorneys. I come from a family of attorneys, man. Grandfather, father, brother, cousins, uncles. I mean, I can spin it like the rest of them.
That's what's wrong with you.
That's it. That's my problem. I got attorney in my blood. I'm just as bad as a car salesman. All right, we got a couple minutes left. Trey, what else can we hit?
Oh, Lord.
Shoot to scare. That was like shooting up in the air. What other crazy... Chief, have you heard some crazy things? As to oh, no, that's not right.
Now, the ones we hear the most is, should we shoot to wing somebody, which that's, and to drag them in the house. I guarantee you, we don't go anywhere that someone did say, well, can I shoot them? And if I do I need to drag them in the house?
Here's my problem. I have people tell me this multiple times, that people who wear this shiny thing on their chest tell them to pull them into the house.
And
Yeah,
they're
I've
doing
heard
the
that
stupid
too,
thing
man.
by doing that. Honestly, the officer who's doing that, I would like
Did
to
I
think...
say officer? I did not say officer.
Well, I will. I'll come out and say officer. The officer that tells somebody to drag a body in the house is one that's either cracking a joke or he's trying to get away from whoever he's talking to. One of the two.
Yeah.
Because you just don't do that.
Whenever they say that to me and they tell me that an officer did that, I'm like, do not listen to that guy. That's crazy. That's stupid. I can't believe the guy even said
I always
that.
thought the whole shooting the wing 'em thing was more like, you're building something, you hit it with a hammer. Just hit it to scare the nail. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. You're just trying to hit the scare the nail. You got a tool in your hand. You're using it. Use the
Wail
tool
on
correctly.
it. That's right.
And the bad part about people trying to shoot somebody just to wing them, if you're sitting at a firing range and you've got time to aim, you might be able to do that. But when you're in the middle of a situation where your heart's going about 20,000 beats to a second, and you're not going to think about, if I shoot him in the big toe, they'll stop him. You're going to think about shooting wherever you see the most of a person. So shame on you if you put your butt in front of me, because that's what's going to get shot.
It's just like rifle slings. You get a guy with a rifle walking down the street, a standard rifle. I'm not talking these tactical slings because people aren't used to them yet. But if you're walking down the street and you got a basic 2-point sling and it's the rifle slung over your shoulder, you're legal, you're fine, as long as you don't do it in a threatening manner. Okay, it's acceptable. I can see that. But when you start going outside the realm of normal, people start looking at it. It's funny, and they're going to question you, and it's going to cause problems. So know your stuff. Trey, what are we on?
And then
It's about time.
All right, look.
It's about time.
This segment is brought to you by Coppolino Dodd Krebs Law Firm, and we can't thank them enough. They're awesome. And we had attorney extraordinaire Benton Ross Watson here, who comes in much of the time when super attorney Rick Dodd's not available. So, Ross, tell everybody how they get a hold of you.
105 East Main Street here in Cameron. You can email me, benton@watson.legal. That's benton@watson.legal. You can give me a call at 254-605-4140. That's 605-4140. Rick, thanks, and I look forward to the tactical defense class coming up. And so can't wait.
That'd be great. All right, everybody. We'll see you on the other side. That was good.
Thanks, Ricky.
Capolino Dodd Krebs Law Firm in Cameron.